Morning, all of you. Hope you are doing well. Yesterday, we have talked about computer essential. We have seen a different session in other blogs, but today, we take a look on the lesson 3, module 1, computer essential yet. But before proceed with lesson 3, let's recall what we have seen in the previous slides for computer essential lesson 1. For lesson 1, we have talked too much about Icdl modules and how Icdl works over the world. And you have seen 8 modules we cover through this training session, where we have talking about computer essential, online essentials, word processing, spreadsheets, presentation, online collaboration. All those are things needed to be known, to be aware of using digital literacy. We have seen some key points or concepts, the key skills in relation to computer, ICT, devices, software. And also, before we have talking about some module objectives, like the way we are understanding the key concept relating to ICT and its computer, even devices and software. All those are things we have talking about. For lesson 1, it was talking about computer and devices. There are some terminology which is technical terminologies like ICT. It is a broad term, and you know it as information and communication technology. And it is different to the IT, but simply think about ICT as information and communication technology, which refer to the information process and the way the needed unified communication can pass through the devices or through the people. And you have talking about briefly the difference between data and the information. And you have seen how the data differ to the information, and we have talking some examples for data where we have some standard, like the standards that we use once we want to take a look on how we can check your balance. You type in your phones *131 DS. It's about the data. For instance, if you see how, let's give you some example which is typically related to the data. Okay, Here we have *131, and you put DS. You put the DS. This is a data, and the what, and the information will be your airtime amount. It's a kind of example that we can talk about. This is a data, and the information that's telling you amount of your money that's your telephones holds. It's what we can call information. If you see about data, it is quite like something which has no meaning, but information, it is simply something which is have a full meaning because of it has been processed. Sometime data, every time data we take it as inputs. Input data needed to be entered into computer, produce information. So this can bring up on how we can understanding how computer process data into information. As a definition, information is a processed data. Means we have seen how our computer have the brain. If our computer have the brain called central processing unit, we want to know how the brain for the computer, how it acts through the data to produce information. If you have take a course of ICT, I think everyone here have take something about the computer, how it is a machine, how it is electronic, how it is a reprogrammable machine, how it is a machine that accepts input devices to process data into information as output. Once we talk about input devices, you may understand something like mouse, keyboards, all those devices needed to enter data to bring information on the screen. Sometimes screen we talk about the monitor. And about the data, we take it like a symbol, collection of a number and the symbol that represents something. If we take something like that, you will understand how symbol can represent something, but needed to process with central processing unit as a brain to produce information. That's all what we can talk about the data. Understanding where that you get the meaning between data and the information. Without data, we can't get information. That is why we have some aspect that show things it is data. Once we talk about data like accurate, once we talk about accurate, it's something that's have precision. If, for instance, we take it as the standard is something that people may sit down and inaugurate and make a convention that this will be used as disease standards, like the way we use it to blow money from telephones, there are some number. The way we use it to send money to the different people, we use some standard like star 182 DS. All those are things that has been established to manipulate with the computations. Remember, for the purpose of doing anything, data needed to be specific and organized should be presented with a context that give its meaning and relevance. It means that each standard, each gestures, posters has something that represents, and that's something it represents must have the meaning once it proceeds into the central processing to bring the information. So here, if we understand communication, nothing else, it's a way of communicating with the different people. You know, we have verbal communication and non-verbal communication, even visual and the audio. All those are type of communication. But once we talk about a technology, immediately we understand something which is important to be aware of, understanding, to minimize the forces that we use once we are working with things like the way you are performing our jobs. Technology needed to reduce some forces do we use, and nothing else. It's a methods and the tools that society needed to develop and to facilitate the solution of its practical problems. You know how our society has different problems, and we need to unify to reduce the forces we exercise to use once we are working. Here, we have learned from simple two-way voice communication to communicate between multiple people across multiple channels and multimedia application. Once we talk channel, it's like roads where car travel, and the data needed the road where data must go and take away. And multimedia, it is quite like the media application like WhatsApp, Instagrams, Telegrams. All those are things we may take away to know it. Sometimes there are some ICT services and needed to be innovate and You know how our governments has put ICT before all things. Like internet services, for example, we have documents sharing, how to share our documents, the way we get some official news, it's internet services, online banking. Today, it doesn't need it to go to the bank to get money. You get it freely, but there are small charges that differ to go to the bank, and you take a fees for transport to go there. And also, we have seen how, for instance, through this pandemic, how we can buy things remotely, online shopping, even shipping, e-shipping, the way you can get commands from Europe, from Asia, from Dubai, and still you are sitting in your respected place. Also, we have mobile technology. You have seen how people, they have been come to the Motorola. Now we are on the smartphone, tablets, how the instant messages works, like the messages right on the WhatsApp platform. Short messages sent, multimedia messages, all those are how the video, if we talk multimedia, multimedia messages, it's like how we share some video on our platform. Also, we have some office productivities. We can't we can talk about some challenges and the benefits for using ICT, like most of the benefits for using ICT, you know, how things could be accelerated, how you can work your jobs efficiently. We repetitive processing, uh, for instance, if you want to retype the text that you have saved in your computer, how it is easy to edit something, and things could be how you can search things there in your computer, and how you can hold a big data storages in your storage devices, how things are fast and accurate in data communication. All are the benefits. I think you agree with me. ICT at least have many benefits, like the way we use the flat file system. Once we talk about the flat file system, it's a kind of doing many things manually, like for instance, once we talk about a database, it's a way of having your data in the same location, but it look like the same data, or have its relation, they must hold in the same location. But flat file system, it's a kind of having things which are mixed into the system. And we could talk about the benefit, but we can't forget to the challenges. Some challenges, it's about how technology is changing things, and its speed. Of course, there are some people, they have fear to change, and they are seem like a Catholic persisted to to change, has a resistance to change. And there are some people, they talk about those technologies, refer to the young generation. ICT, it is ours for all. We may be aware of doing anything, even if we are old. We have to try our best to do things within this system because of that's one the world needed. So if we are talking about computer devices, logically, we have soft and hard. Once we talk about soft, it is logic, software and hardware. Hardware, let's talk about something which can be touch with, sense with your hands and feel, like physical devices for the computer. As a technical terms, we talk about tangible parts, and the software, it is look like a program, a series of instruction that will tell hardware what to do and how to work. That is why we talk about a tangible part for the computer. And once we talk about different type of computer, we may understand how some they are desktop, other tablet, laptop, smartphones. Let's give you note about those devices. Anything that will be called computer, it's a device that holds four things. It's a device that holds four things, like input devices, processing devices, storage devices, and the outputs devices. Those four elements are tangible elements need to talk about things. These things, it's a computer. For instance, if we talk mouse, yes, is an input devices. Keyboard is an input devices. Microphone is the input devices. Light pen is input devices. You know, light pen, it's a pen that work with the screen, where you can touch your finger in place. And also we have web camera. Web camera is input devices. Digital camera. If we talk about web camera, it's a camera for your computer. Digital camera also is input devices. And for instance, also there are what can call voice recognitions. You know, today you can't kill someone and immediately, at least 24 hours, you may be in the police station because of there are some devices that could do detect you, like voice recognition, like there are so many fingerprinter. It's an input devices, but processing devices, let we tell central processing devices, devices. For the storage devices, what we can call, CPU. CPU means central processing device. It act as a brain of computer. So we have also storage devices like a CD, DVD, hard disk drive, disk drive. It's a storage for your computer where all those data are kept. It's a hard disk driver, HDD. Even operating system is where it's reside. It's like a house for data warehouse. And output devices, most of examples of output devices, we have printer, monitor, like screen, We have also loudspeaker. It's devices which is output devices, and also we have there are so many. We can take a look on the way we search things as we proceed. All those things are output devices, input devices, processing devices, and those things, they show different way we can talk. This is it's a computer. Upon those devices, you may understand immediately. For instance, telephone is telephone, is it a computer? Yes, telephone is a computer because of it meets all four things we have talking about. It has a processing devices, it has a storage devices, and it has output devices. Now, let's come on. You see, we have different type and the devices. We have media player, we have digital camera, as we have talking about. So let me take a time to explain the difference between processor, RAM, and the storage devices. And remember, we have talking about processing devices. Sometimes is called processor, because is the one that process data to be information. That is why it get name for processor. As you see, processor, simply it is a central processing unit. Here, take a look on how computer understand things. We As human being, we use English like it's a language that we use to communicate each other. But computer have its own language, like the language that we call machine codes. And the processor, the language for the computer, it is called machine codes. And remember, it use 0 and 1. That's make computer to be digital one. Yes, if you understand, you can confirm that things has been understood. And if you have some question, you may ask before to proceed. And now it is the language for the computer that's called the machine codes. It uses zeros and ones. These blocks computer to be a digital devices. Now, so as you see, make things clear, let's take, for instance, a time to think about how computer change people physically and logically. Sometimes if you take away, for instance, the way before, it is the way before they used to give a salary to the different people, try to calculate the salary coming from gross salary to the net salary, how you can work with it manually. And within a computer, it is easy. Now, let me talk about a processor. It's the one that measures the performance for the computer. Sometimes if you are buying a computer, you talk about, I want computer which is fast, which is how can do perform a job efficiently. You have to take a look on how processor size it is, look on how RAM capacity it is equal, and how the amount the data can be held. If you want to take a look for your computer, its capacity, you go to this window logo, the way you talk about how to start to enter inside the computer, and you go to this PC. If you go to the property, you may see how your computer is it. Mine, it is a processor, my brain for my computer, it is i5. i5 means it is, we have 5 core. It's a kind of taking 5 brain and you put in single one. That's mean i5. And the speeds, it is measured in frequency, 1.8 gigahertz. That is the speeds to process instruction, to give me the output, to give me the information through the process. it uses this one. And RAM capacity is, you see here, or no, this is it's a taskbar. You see Explorer, you see file and folder, you see different apps I have open. Those apps, those things which is stored there, they are stored on the RAM. Means RAM work once computer is turned on. Once you open many application and your RAM still is low capacity, it means that your computer will be weak in speed, in performance. But mine, it has 8 gigabytes. Some computer, they have 1 gigabytes, but as we have many gigabyte for RAM and the processor for the higher type, it means that your computer could be cost. That is why we wanted to talk about RAM and the processor, even storage, but without lifting to the RAM. RAM is a devices. For instance, let's take a look on what we can call RAM. So here we have a picture, RAM for computer. Let's show you the image for RAM. Those are the RAMs. This is its a RAM for desktop, and here we have many RAM. Those are for laptop. And if you want to go to buy your phones, you may ask how many gigabyte for RAM to this phone, because of you have to understand how once you are doing many things, you have to take a logic behind things, why this is faster rather than this. It will depend to the RAM capacity. Now, this is a thing which is important. Also, you may take a look on how your computer could store data into your computer. For instance, mine here, my hard disk, it has 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte means we have 1000 gigabyte. Means I may hold a bigger number, a bigger number of data. For instance, here, local partition is C. It's like a room 1, and this is a room 2. Room 1, I have 286 gigabytes, and 225 gigabytes are free. It means that I have a big space to keep my data. And on room 2, I have 642 gigabytes, and I have a big space where I can hold my devices. For instance, here I see the way I can have many things in my computer because of I have the space where I can store my data. That's 3 things. It's important things that measure the computer performance. So we have integrated and external equipments for the computer. You know, we have a speaker, our computer. We have web camera, as we have a microphone. All those things are integrated into our PCs. Around our computer, we have different connectors and ports. We have like a USB, we have HDMI. If we talk about a USB, simply it's a universal serial bus. And the HDMI is a high definition multimedia. As its name suggests, it means that it is faster than USB because of it work as a parallel for connecting devices to transfer video and audio data. For example, connecting a monitor. Yes, monitor, we have talking about how is a screen. And the universal serial bus, say it's for connecting devices such as printer, scanner. Scanner also is an input, but could be have a behavior of output because of it can scan document to put into machine and print documents. Those are the scanner that can be called the all in one. It means that it is scan and print. So what we come to talk about its computer and its devices. Now let's take a look on what we can call software. If we understand hardware, we have talking about how it are intangible part for the computer, and the software, they are intangible rather than hardware, they are tangible, means palpable. Could take feel the sensor with your hands, but software are some series of instructions that will tell hardware what to do, how to work. If you connect a mouse to your computer, need to acknowledge, to ask the permission to work with your computer. It means that some instruction must go beyond to the central processing so that things could be happen. And most of the three categories for software, we have system software, we have application software, and the utility software. So once we talk about system software, we may see how they are controller. They controlling the hardware, they running and loading application software, and interface creation between the user and the computer. Those are the three things which is important for system software. And the operating system is a big program needed to be installing in your computer as a first, so that they can allow other small program to work, is the one which is an example of system software. Also, there are application software designed to achieve specific tasks. For example, office productivity and communication, social networking. For instance, if we talk about, you may have a problem. For instance, your phones may broken. It may be broken. And if you have a computer, no problem to do not have phones, because of you may install some application into your computer like WhatsApp. All those are application software designed to perform a specific task. Also, we have the third type of software, which is utility software. You know, it provides an addition to functionality for operating system. And operating system, remember, I have talking how it is one example for system software. Antiviruses, device driver needed to, for instance, file compression. File compression, they are the features the computer needed to compress things to reduce its size, like WinRAR. It's programs that's needed to reduce the size. So let's take a look on the software license. Sometimes we work with some application without paying money, without paying fees. The license is an agreement. If you are using a software, there are some instruction, there are some license agreement you may be agree with the owner. What is the license? It's a permission, it's a permit from an authority to own, use something to a particular thing, or carry on trades. What is the software license? Is the permission to use the software on no exclusive based and subject to the listed condition. A software license doesn't automatically transfer the ownership of the software to the buyer, and its purchase price in effect is a one-time rental fee. This means once there is a software created, it must go to the markets, and once it is on the markets, as a technical term, it is a release software to search clients, to attract customers, and once it take a limited periods, you may be asked to buy the software because of a time of showing how software or application works. It is finished. Now take a look on end user license agreements. That's called EULA, end user license agreement. It is a printed license found inside the software package. You must use the software according to the conditions set out in the license. So this is things which is important. Sometimes you have your computer and your computer interact with you by sending short messages that showing how your, for instance, your operating system has been expired because of you have get it freely, and it require you to buy an operating system so that you may have a privilege to use as someone who have bought that one. We have a type of software license. We have proprietary, we have open source, we have trial version, we have shareware, and we have freeware. For proprietary is closed. User is given the right to use the software under certain conditions and restricted from other uses such as modification and sharing. Yes, this is it, the type of software which is called proprietary. Open source, this is referred to the programming, where the programmer needed the code to edit so that they can produce other software upon the source codes they have get. And the source code and the design of the software available to anyone who want to enhance or develop it. not free software. They are also there on the markets. There are also a third one, which is a trial version, only usable for a certain period of time before it has not to be purchased. That is what we have called about release software. Also, we have fourth about shareware software. It is initially made available free of charge to users. Software functionality may be limited without additional feature become available only after payments. Well, understand that it is a shareware. You can get freely, no charges, but there is where you have to be stopped because of you didn't pay. And also we have freeware software which can be copied or downloaded for free. You see how, for instance, you want to download. Let's go to, for instance, here. Let's go to download, for instance, AnyDesk. This is AnyDesk. Thus, take it like an application that we use once you want to help someone over, which is remotely. You see, I can get freely. You see, I download it. Immediately, you will see how I can get it immediately and downloads. If I download, I get it freely. It means that I can work with it and immediately I can get it. You see, here, there, I get AnyDesk apps to the internet and I can take it and I install in my computer. So, this is an apps I get over the internet and I can work with. So it was an example on how we can work with the freeware software. So this session, it was a session for reason one. I turn back because of we have reason two, so that anyone who is lost could take the knowledge about the reason one. The remaining slide to talk about how you can shut your machine down, how you can turn your machine. I think correctly, I think for today, you know how to shut it down, how you can turn on your computer without any circumstance. If you found something difficult for you, you may ask. So we go to the next slide where we talk about lesson 3. That's talk about how can you end a non-responding task. Remember, the second module, the first module reason 2, it was talking about desktop icons, and I have sent you some a short video talking about this session. Let's take lesson 3, where we're talking about on how you are working with text. For instance, with Microsoft 2016, it seems like it is the same within others, but let's open a window I open a window, 2016. You see my office productivity, and you see how we have different templates. We have different templates about this software. These differ to the previous version, like 2007, because of the interested for those new version 2016, 2019 for office productivity. It has many things that unify something. Like if we talk about a template, you may work, for instance, a calendar. You may take a sample of letters. You see, for instance, you want to write a CV, which is international. It differ to the CV. Do we know? Because of we have from sample for director, sample for anything. We have, if you write a book, you may take a sample on how you could work with the table of contents. Even those are different things, which is important. If you want to make a certificate, we have a template for certificates. If you want to make invoices, there are a sample for invoices. They give you what is can call templates. So here, what do we need today? It is these blank documents. And here we have a tabs. As we have talking yesterday, we have inserts, we have design, we have layout, we have reference, we have mailing, review, and view. Each tabs, it has its icons, its toolbar, its main things. It means that each part for the tabs, it has its contents, and you may not be aware to know all of it, but you try to do your best to know why this is here. No, now you see, we open Microsoft Word window. This is, I had opened this and I go to home. And in our presentation, they talk about quick access toolbar and ribbon tabs. Yes, here we have a quick access toolbar. If we talk about quick access toolbar, you see, for instance, quick access toolbar, you see on there, here, I have save, I have undo, and we have redo. I may write something and I can go to undo to go where I come from, or to return back, or to save without going anywhere. Still there, let's take a note on once you talk about save and save as. You save for existing document and you save as for new documents. If you have an existing document still stored on your computer, you do save. If you save as, it means that it is a new document needed to be typed. And here we have a list of customized quick access toolbar. You can put somewhere to do things quick. And ribbon tabs, this is a ribbons, but a ribbon tabs is on the top. There we have ribbon tabs. So working with the text, it's you click the file tabs and you click open. A list of recent file appear. Click this piece and browse the file. That's it's the way you can go here. We can go to the new, you can go to the open, you can save as, you can print, you can share, export, close, and you can go to the ocean. All are things needed to know. Even you want to protect your documents. If you want no one to put the passwords is there, you write your documents and still you don't want anyone to read it, or you can protect your file. So it's a problem to go on file. Here, there is a steps that they talk how we can open an existing document. If you want to open an existing document, immediately go to file. An existing document, if I go to open, you see different existing documents and I can open it. Immediately, I will see the document I have opened before. So it's the way working with the text. So, and here, to close the file, you go to click the file tabs and click close. Here you see we have some close, we have restore down, we have minimize, and you have ribbon display option. And if you want to close immediately, you could close without any circumstance. So you can copy and moving a text. Step to copy and moving a text, first of all, you have to select. You have to select. If, for instance, if I want, let's take a look. Sorry, let's, sorry, this is, okay. Now, on the home tabs, click copy in the clipboard group or Control-C. Here, first of all is to highlight text. And then I open my text. If I click once on the words I want to select, immediately it is selected. If I click three once is a phrase that you want to select, or you could select the left by dragging or right by dragging. You know how to hold left button and you drag the left, and how to do things like that. Now let me go to the selection and copy in the clipboard. Copy in the clipboard. So you see where I have copy, I can copy and I can do right click and paste. Immediately I paste it. Or I can hold the Control V. Control V. Also, Control V, it means that Control plus V. It's paste. And the Control plus C. It's a copy. You can use it to copy information. You can hold Control plus C. Immediately, the copy could be taken. And the Control V is 2. And also, we could make Control plus X equal cut. Cuts. Cut, if you see cuts there, for instance, if I select, you see cut, immediately things may goes away. And if I copy and I do this, I select and make a copy, and I go there and they go to paste, immediately things could be applied. So is that's we are talking about here. We have working with the text, pasting, screen capture. Capture the required screen using PLTC scene of the current window. Use Alt and click in the required location in the document. For instance, if I go to Art and go to yes, and I go to the where you want to paste things, I could use Control V. Immediately you see what will be outputs. You want to take what is on the screen, but see which is a active one. So this is things which is important because of here is working with text to save a document with a new name, a format, and I want to save a document. Then go to File and Save As, and you have to specify the location. For instance, I want to put on desktop, and I put the name training, for instance, training file, new format, and I click on the desktop. Immediately, you see on my desktop, we have training file. So this is, if I turn back, if I'll turn back with the file and write another thing which is important to the existing file, it means that I can go to File and I do save. It doesn't need to save for the different name, because of you will see things, you see how things could be applied on my file. So printing, first of all, you may install a printer to your computer by connecting the printer to the USB, and it's installed automatically. If it doesn't not install automatically, do the following: click Start button, then Setting icon, click Device. Under Add Printer and Scanner, click Add Printer. For instance, if we want to go there, let's go to the control panel. Go to the control panel. You see where we have printer, and You can take a look the printer where we have, you can go to add the printer. Immediately, if you connect some printer, you may take a look which kind of printer and you may install. And once you want to print, following the wizards, installing a printer as if the printer is not available, the printer that I want is listed. Select add a local printer or network printer with manual setting. But things, this could be work when we have installed the printer. But it's a kind of installing printer. But if you have any CD which is coming with this printer, you may go to the internet and like this, for instance, you are searching a printer, for instance, ER2220, yes, Canon, you printer, you go to the printer driver and you download it. And if you go there, you can see where, for instance, you can go there. And if you click there, you may get a driver for your screen and you download it immediately and you get it and you can install your printer driver so that you can have your printer to your machine. So those are the way you may do things yourself without searching any technician to do this. And if the printer is located, you can go to the control panel as I have shown you, to the control panel, sorry, and you go to the printer and you see different printer located on your screen. So here, you see, you can set your printer as a default because of sometime if you want to print, you may, it could require you to search how you may choose the way you go there to choose the printer. But if you have using a default one, you don't need to go there to choose. Immediately you print, immediately you get paper. So to set a default printer, you go to the control panel and you go to the printer list and you click on, for instance, this is a printer, and you go to the set as default printer. It immediately you will print and without choosing which kind of printer. So that is the way printing documents in a word processing application. First of all, you have to go to the file and you print and you go to the print. If you want to specify the number of copy, you may do this. And if you want to print current page which is displayed, if you print all, if you want to customize, all those are things you may go. A page orientation, if you want landscape, if you want to print old copy, you go to the collected and you see how things. If you want to print pages, you define the range of copy you want to print. If you want to put things in the which is margin to the paper, you go to the top, you may change things. You go to the left, you may change things. You go to the paper and you see the width of the paper. You may change the height like that. You go to the layout, header. I want it on the 0.2, footer 0.2. You may change things and as you have to apply as you want. So it's a kind of working with the text. So, and if managing printing jobs, that's current plating job, click to start. What I was doing there, it's about this. And you may exercise yourself so that things may be okay. So this is our end on say lesson 3 session 3 computer essential module 1. And for lesson 4, we're talking about lesson 4. We're talking about how open Microsoft Word and type your name, save document in the document folder with your name, save document in PDF format in the document folder, retaining the name. How do you set a printer installed in your computer as a default printer? We have seen it in the previous session. So here on lesson 4, we introduce introduction to file and folders. Once we talk about file, it's a collection of character. And folder, it's a collection of file. We store file, folder, and program in folder. You see the image of folder. A folder stored in another folder is termed as a subfolder. Subfolder are created during the installation of operating system. They are termed as a default folder. Example, computer, like this, computer, those are folder. Here, you see, we have a computer, we have, those are object, download, video, music, desktop, document. Those are folder that has been set out, stealing your installing operating system. Now here we have a difference. But simply let's show how we can go to create a folder. And once you click on the blank page of desktop, you do right click and you go to the new, and immediately you create a folder. After you rename, for instance, this folder, let's take name of Icdl, and you click left side, immediately your folder will be made. And in our presentation, they show the process on how steps to view driver quick starts. I have shown how you choose this PC. If you go there and you go to this PC, immediately you get folder. Those are 7 folders. And if you click on File Explorer icon, choose this piece along the left-hand side of the Explorer window. Here, we have do it to explore left-hand side with Explorer window. So Displaying a file and folder property, you could go there. For instance, I have set up there, or I have architecture there. I can select first of all, and I go to the right click, I go to the properties. You see, my folder location is on the desktop, and the size, its amount of bits, its amount of storage that's held on disk. And after, you can see size on disk. The size, I have shown you how on disk. This is a disk. My machines, it hold a disk which is I have divided into parts. The operating system is installed in a C. This is my operating system, and my data I keep in this way. So now let's proceed with how you can view file and the folder. Here we have in Window Explorer, step to change a file and the folder. You go in Window Explorer, you click on View tabs, you select a view of choice from the layouts. Let's go there. Here, I go in View. You see here, you see there. So here, patience. Here, we have a new window, we have page width, we have multiple page. You see how things could be changed. And if you try to look the process, the steps we work with, you may take your computer and you do as it is. Those are the steps. Select view of choice layouts, view tabs. For instance, this is a PowerPoint presentation. We have to go to the office, but try to work with this. Also, we can identify common file type, what we can call file extension. File extension, you see, we have common file, we have docs, we have Excel, we have PowerPoint, we have PDF, we have GIF, PGB, those are for the photo. We have audio, MP3, we have video, AV for the film, we have zip, we have executable. Those are the application. Those are what we call the file. For instance, if I want to search file extension, I can save. If I save, take a look, save as a type. If I go there, I see different file format for the words. And if I open spreadsheets like this, spreadsheet is Excel, I can go there and I open. If I want to save this one, the file extension, you go there. Those are the file extension we found in spreadsheets. Those are what we can call file extension. Even this PowerPoint presentation, I can go there, and if I save it immediately, I get where, for instance, where file extension, those are file extension. Okay, now let's go on opening a file, folder, or drive. Here, to open a file or driver, double click on it immediately. You can click and you keep file and folder name short, but meaning there are some basic guidelines in naming a folder or file. Here we have some basic guideline in naming file and folder. You have to keep file and folder name short but meaningful, so that once you want to explore, to do not have some disruption, and avoiding unnecessary repetition and redundant word in the file name and the file path. The redundant, it's a kind of making a duplication. Cause of you may make a duplication and you may be confused. Try to use capital letter or underscore to delimit word, not space. Avoid special characters such as like those characters. Those are the basic needs you have to put in your mind. It's the basic needs to naming folder. And I have shown you how you can create folder by opening the location where you want to create the folder, and you right click blank area within the location and you select, you go to the new and you enter. We have did like this. You go to the new, you go to the folder and you type and you go to the enter. Immediately the folder could be created. So renaming, it is quite too simple. You have to go to the right click and rename quick and there you go. So here you see, here you can create file and you can put something that you want. You can search file for file or folder by property. You can click file, explore icon on the taskbar. You see there we have explorer icon. This is let me for instance close those, and on this window we have explorer icon. Cause of this window is it is a window 10 and the explore icon is on this, and you can go there and you search it very quickly. It is easy. So you can search for file using wildcard. Click on the file explorer icon of the taskbar is this one. In the search field, use wildcard in the criteria box and click search. Example, to search for all whose name starts with the. Wildcards, it is those symbol you put there. For instance, you can go there and you go to the, for instance, the, and you put the wildcard like this. This is it's a wildcard, but it will depend on the what you are watching. So like these, those are the wildcard. To search for all file whose name start with Z, and you put star to show you how as a wildcard. To search for all file whose name start with Z and contain 5 characters, you use this. And to search for all Microsoft Excel file whose name start with ZA, contain 5 characters, you use this. It's a kind of showing you how you can identify things. So here we have, you can search for file by date modified. By date modified, following the previous steps, you go click the date modified option and select the date option available. You go to the, for instance, you can type yourself. If I go to the, sorry, and let's we try to take a look. Here, we have talked about you may do a list, how things you may put in the correct way so that things could be good. So here, it is a way of doing things. So data modified, if you try to use such tools, and you may see where we have dates, and I will show you step by step, and you may exercise how to work with it. So also things you may exercise it, work with. We have different steps on how we can work with, depend on the program installed into your computer. You may organize the file and the folder. To select a single file or folder, you click on it and you select a consecutive group of items, what I come to show you. If I click there, I can go there. If I do things like this, you see how things change. You see? Okay. Those are things we want to take a look. Now, here, sorting a file in folder, which click the view tabs. Here we have view tabs. You see, you may sort. You see, sort by name. You see, date modify. Yes, you click on it, sort, date modify, type, size, date created, author, category, tax. All those are the things which is important to know, so that once you want to search your things, it could be easy. You may sort by descending, you may sort by name, you may sort by ascending. So you may copy and moving a file and folder. It is the same way we did it to the previous one. So here also, first of all, if we want to select, to delete, to restore, to do things about file and folder, you have to select, to highlight. And you can, for instance, select your file, your folder, and you hold to the delete. Immediately, your folder could go to the Icdl bin. If you go to the Icdl bin, you can find your folder. And if you click on it, you can you do the right click and you make a restore. So those are things you may be aware. So here we have storage and the compression. Main type of storage, we have internal hard disk, we have external hard disk, we have network driver, you have USB flash. You may have a problem of sending many files. For instance, this one, those are the notes, and you see how my file are too many. If I want to upload on my email, I have to click on it and go to the sent and go to the complicity folder. The error is occurred because of I open. But if I go to the different folder, I go to there and I go to the that is the way of compressing, reduce the size and make collect, make compact my folder so that I can upload it to the email within many things inside. So here for file and folder and look storage capacity, you can take you can exercise to work with it so that things could be understandable. Once we talk about the capacity or size of file and folder measured in bytes, we have a unit. It's a unit of data storages. We have a kilobytes. Kilobytes, it take 1024 bits. Is a half page of plain text. I have a half page of plain text. It has 1 kilobytes, and the megabytes is 700 pages of plain text, 1 picture graphics. It is megabytes, means 1000 kilobytes is 1 megabyte. Gigabytes, it is 1000 kilo megabytes, it is equal to gigabytes, and 1000 gigabytes, it is equal to terabyte, a bookstore full of books like that. So view available space on the storage devices. I have shown you how you can get the available spaces. This is its available spaces 223 in 286. So, and I have shown how you can complicity folder. Our complicity folder, have you seen how you click on it? Then you can get the complicity folder. This folder setup, it is this one. You see the size for the previous, it was 1.58 gigabytes. But after completing, let me show you, after completing, I have 145. It comes from 158. Now it is on 145. It means that we have reduced the size that's taken on disk. So I think it is well understood. This is it, a lesson for the module ones. And let's stop by here for this session, and we proceed for the lesson 5 for the module ones. If you have question, you have to denounce, and we could help each other. So let's stop